Hello, everyone. Ever feel lost because native speakers talk too fast? Don't worry, just listening is enough. In this video, you'll hear real native speech, get simple explanations, and two podcasters will show you how to use it in daily life. Today's pick is the 1959 classic horror film House on Haunted Hill. It's spooky in mood, but don't worry, there aren't any truly scary scenes. The quality may be old, but it's still fun and great for learning English. And since I'll turn this into a full series, you'll enjoy it even more starting right here. All right, let's kick things off with some spooky music. Native Sound Part 1. Here we go.
The ghosts are moving tonight, restless, hungry. May I introduce myself? I'm Watson Pritchard. In just a minute, I'll show you the only really haunted house in the world. Since it was built a century ago, 7 people, including my brother, have been murdered in it. Since then, I've owned the house. I've only spent one night there, and when they found me in the morning, I was almost dead.
Creepy, right? That was the first scene from the classic horror film House on Haunted Hill, made back in 1959. Let's break down the expressions together, step by step.
The ghosts are moving tonight, restless, hungry.
Here, restless means unable to rest, relax, or stay still. In the sentence, the ghosts are moving tonight, restless, hungry, it means the ghosts are walking around tonight. They can't stay still, and they're hungry.
In just a minute, I'll show you the only really haunted house in the world.
In just a minute, I'll show you the only really haunted house in the world. Here, the only means there's just one like it. It's unique. Haunted house means a house with ghosts or spirits in it. So this sentence implies he's about to show us a real haunted house, and there's no other one like it in the whole world.
Since it was built a century ago, 7 people, including my brother, have been murdered in it.
Since it was built a century ago, 7 people, including my brother, have been murdered in it. A century ago means 100 years ago. Have been murdered suggests they were killed, and we're still talking about it now. It still matters. So this sentence implies, over the past 100 years, 7 people have died in that house, and one of them was his brother.
Since then, I've owned the house.
I have owned the house. This means he became the owner in the past, and he still owns it now.
I've only spent one night there, and when they found me in the morning, I was almost dead.
I've only spent one night there, and when they found me in the morning, I was almost dead. This expresses I stayed in the house for only one night. In the morning, people found me there, and I was close to dying.
All right, now that you've heard the explanation, let's listen to the podcaster's review.
The ghosts are moving tonight, restless, hungry. Wow. We just heard Watson Pritchard there talking about the only really haunted house in the world.
Yeah, pretty chilling stuff.
Yeah.
Mentioned 7 people murdered in it, his brother included.
Over a century ago, and he spends one night and is almost dead. I mean, talk about dramatic language.
Seriously.
Okay, so look, usually the deep dive tackles big, complex topics, right? Today, we're actually diving into the language itself. This is really for you, focusing on how this kind of vivid language works. Our mission basically is to take this really colorful, kind of spooky language and pull out practical, everyday phrases, stuff you can weave into your own conversations to, add a bit more punch or precision.
Exactly. And what's really cool here, I think, is that it's not about like memorizing lists. Forget that.
Right.
It's more about spotting the patterns, seeing how language that feels super specific. I mean, a ghost story can actually be surprisingly flexible, how it applies to just, well, daily life, making those connections.
Absolutely. Okay, let's jump right in then. Our first phrase from that really gripping audio, restless. Mm-hmm. In the clip, obviously, it makes you think of ghosts that just can't settle down. But restless, wow, that's not just for spirits, is it? I mean, I've definitely felt restless lately, needing to get out.
Oh, for sure. And that's why it's such a great word, right? Its strength is capturing that core feeling, that unease, not being able to settle. It doesn't matter if it's a ghost, a person.
Or even your dog.
Yeah, exactly. You could totally say, I feel so restless just sitting at home. Or maybe my daughter was really restless last night, couldn't sleep. And like you said, the dog gets restless if we skip his walk. Just it hits home in so many situations.
From restless spirits to restless pets. Yeah, it really paints a picture. Sure. Okay, speaking of making an impression, Watson Pritchard kicks off very formally, right? May I introduce myself?
Ah, yes. Classic phrase. And it's a classic because it's so useful, so adaptable. You can use it formally, casually, like in a new group, maybe. Hi, let me introduce myself. I'm Sarah. Or more buttoned up. I'd like to introduce myself before the meeting starts. Even just meeting someone new next door. A friendly, maybe I should introduce myself. I'm your new neighbor. It works. It just sets the stage nicely.
It's amazing how much mileage you get out of that simple phrase. Okay, let's shift gears, though. From polite introductions to something a bit creepier.
Uh-oh.
That iconic phrase, haunted house. In the story, it's this place of absolute terror, right? Pure dread. But you listening probably use it pretty differently sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. And isn't it fascinating how that really vivid, almost scary image gets used in such playful ways day to day?
Yeah.
You might point to some old rundown building and say, whoa, that looks like a haunted house.
Totally. Or joke about a messy room, right?
Exactly. Your room feels like a haunted house.
Yeah.
Or, of course, the literal fun kind. Let's go check out the haunted house at the theme park.
Yeah. My kid's room definitely qualifies sometimes. It makes you wonder, does using strong language like that playfully sort of water it down? Or does it make it even more useful because everyone gets the reference?
That's a great question. I lean towards the second one. I think it boosts its versatility. It lets us tap into that feeling, something neglected, maybe a bit eerie, without actually meaning there are ghosts banging around.
It's like a shortcut.
Yeah, a shortcut to a visual or a feeling.
Good point. Okay, let's rewind a little bit. Watson Pritchard mentions the history, says the house was built a century ago.
Right. And a century ago, it's just such a neat, impactful way to signal deep history, isn't it?
Much better than just 100 years ago.
Yeah, it feels weightier somehow. It adds a touch of gravitas. You hear it all the time. This company was founded a century ago, or that painting was done a century ago. Even talking about customs, lots of traditions we have started a century ago. It immediately gives you that sense of real legacy, of deep roots.
So concise, so powerful. Okay, last one, and this one's pretty dark. Have been murdered in it. Very intense sentence from the story.
It really is. And look, hopefully you never, ever need to use that phrase literally.
Please, no.
Right. But peel back the meaning and look at the grammar. That structure, have been verbed in it, the passive voice there, it's actually incredibly useful.
How so?
Well, think about describing changes or states of being for a place or a thing over time. You could easily say, lots of changes have been made in it since last year. Talk about a report, maybe.
Okay, I see.
Or several mistakes have been found in it about some document. Even positively, great improvements have been seen in it lately. See? It's like a linguistic workhorse, just hiding inside that really grim phrase from the story.
Wow, that's actually really useful when you put it like that. All right, so wrapping this up. What does this journey mean for you listening? We went from, restless ghosts all the way to the surprisingly flexible grammar of have been verb in it. It's been quite a tour, finding these little linguistic gems in just one dramatic clip.
That's exactly it. These phrases, they came from a spooky story, but they are genuinely powerful tools you can use in everyday chats. Knowledge is great, but it's really valuable when you get it and you can actually apply it. And these expressions, they're ready for you to use, helping you speak with maybe a bit more color, a bit more precision.
So true. Okay, here's a final thought for you to chew on. That original audio clip we started with, definitely worth listening to again. But this time, listen differently. Actively try to notice how these phrases we talked about, restless, introduce myself, haunted house, century ago, have been edit how they pop out, connect them back to the everyday examples we discussed. It's a really active way to make these expressions feel like yours.
Yeah, and you might be surprised what other little bits of useful language jump out at you, too.
All right, let's move on to the next audio clip with some spooky music. Just like before, we'll listen to the native sound, go through a simple explanation, and finish with a podcast review.
I'm Frederick Lauren, and I've rented the house on Haunted Hill tonight so that my wife can give a party. A haunted house party. She's so amusing. There'll be food and drink and ghosts, and perhaps even a few murders. You're all invited. If any of you will spend the next 12 hours in this house, I'll give you each $10,000. Or your next of kin in case you don't survive. Ah, but here come our other guests.
Did you catch that? Food, drink, and ghosts. That line is more than 70 years old, but even now, it still feels kind of funny and a little creepy too, right? Now, let's take it step by step, one sentence at a time.
I'm Frederick Lauren, and I've rented the house on Haunted Hill tonight so that my wife can give a party.
I'm Frederick Lauren, and I've rented the house on Haunted Hill tonight so that my wife can give a party. Here, rent, verb, means to pay money to use something for a short time. You don't own it, you're just using it temporarily. Haunted Hill refers to a spooky hill, possibly with ghosts or a haunted house. And give a party means to host or organize a party.
A haunted house party. She's so amusing.
A haunted house party. She's so amusing. Here, she's so amusing doesn't just mean funny. It suggests she has a strange or dark sense of humor.
There'll be food and drink and ghosts, and perhaps even a few murders.
There'll be food and drink and ghosts, and perhaps even a few murders. Here, a few murders implies that some people might even get killed, maybe as part of the scary fun, or maybe for real.
You're all invited. If any of you will spend the next 12 hours in this house, I'll give you each $10,000.
You're all invited. If any of you will spend the next 12 hours in this house, I'll give you each $10,000. You're all invited. This means everyone is welcome to come, and each refers to every person individually, not just one prize for the whole group.
Or your next of kin in case you don't survive. Ah, but here come our other guests.
Or your next of kin in case you don't survive. Kin means a family member or relative, someone related to you by blood or marriage. In case refers to if something happens, often something bad or uncertain. So, or your next of kin in case you don't survive suggests, if you don't survive, I will give the money to your closest family member. All right, now that you've heard the explanation, let's listen to the podcaster's review.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're doing something a bit different. We're taking this really atmospheric audio clip, quite spooky actually, and pulling out some, well, surprisingly useful everyday English from it.
Yeah, our source is this snippet from a character, Frederick Lauren. He's rented a house on Haunted Hill, no less, complete with spooky music in the background. He's talking about his wife giving a party there. Food, drink, ghosts.
And maybe even a few murders. Wasn't that the line?
That was the line. All for $10,000 if you stay 12 hours.
Yeah.
Wild premise.
Definitely wild.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Our mission. Find 5 really useful everyday expressions hidden in this eerie story. Get the meaning, but also the feel of them.
Sounds good. Where do we start?
First one. Frederick says, I've rented the house. Now, rented seems basic, right?
Straightforward, yeah.
But what struck me is how often we use it. It's not just houses.
Yeah.
What's the core idea here? Well, yeah, it seems simple, but rented is key for any temporary use of something, property, goods, usually for money. Think about like renting a car versus leasing one.
Ah, right. Different duration, maybe different legal stuff.
Exactly. Leasing often implies longer term, more formal. Renting, like for Frederick's party, it's short term. He just needs the place for the night.
So it's that temporary agreement, like I rented a tuxedo or we rented skis for the weekend.
Precisely. And it's usually distinct from, say, hiring a person.
Right. Hire for services, rent for things, generally.
Generally, yeah. Hire can sometimes be for equipment short-term too, but rent often implies a bit more substance, like a car or a house. It's a subtle thing, but it matters for sounding natural.
Good point. Okay, so speaking of the house, a haunted hill.
Mm-hmm.
In the story, that's literal, right? Ghosts, spirits, spooky vibes.
Absolutely. Classic horror setup.
But does haunted pop up elsewhere? Like in normal conversation, it feels like it has another layer.
Oh, definitely. It's not always about ghosts. It really captures that feeling of something lingering, something that continuously affects a place or even a person.
Lingering? How so?
Well, you might say, that old library feels haunted by the past, meaning it has a strong historical atmosphere. Or, more personally, he seemed haunted by that mistake.
Ah, so it's not a literal ghost, but a memory or a feeling that won't leave him alone.
Exactly. Or even something lighter, like this coffee shop is haunted by writers.
Meaning they're always there.
Yeah, they practically live there. So the word carries both that literal spooky meaning and this broader metaphorical sense of something persistent, almost inescapable.
That's actually really useful. Okay, next. Frederick says his wife can give a party.
Right.
And that immediately sounds correct.
Naturally.
We wouldn't really say, make her party.
No, you wouldn't. Or do a party. It sounds off.
Why is that? It seems like such a small thing.
It's all about collocations. Words that just, naturally go together in English. Give a party is a standard one. Trying to swap in make or do, even if people understand, it just signals you're not quite comfortable with the common phrasing yet.
So focusing on these pairings, these collocations, is key to fluency.
Absolutely crucial. Like you give a party, you make a decision, you do your homework. They just fit.
Okay, so we're going to give a party for Sarah, or they gave a party last night. Got it.
Exactly.
Then he describes his wife. He says, she's so amusing. What's the feel of amusing?
Amusing is nice. It suggests something funny in a pleasant, maybe clever way. Not necessarily laugh out loud hilarious, but definitely enjoyable.
So like witty or charmingly funny?
Yeah, something that brings a smile, some light entertainment. You can use it for people. His stories are always so amusing.
Mm-hmm.
Or for things, it was an amusing little film.
It feels positive, light.
Definitely positive. Conveys delight without being too intense.
Okay. And finally, we get to the slightly darker bit. Perhaps even a few murders.
Right. Let's focus on the a few part. Maybe not the murders.
Yes, please. So a few. It just means some, a small number, used with countable things, right? Apples, chairs, murders, parents.
Pretty much. A few means a small quantity.
Yeah.
Straightforward on the surface.
But is there a nuance there we should catch?
There is, actually. And it's a really common point of confusion. It's the difference between a few and just few.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I can see that tripping people up. What's the difference?
So a few implies some, maybe not many, but a positive amount. Enough. Like, I have a few ideas. That's good. You have some?
Okay. Positive and few.
Few. Without the A usually implies not many. And often carries a sense of not enough or scarcity. It has a more negative feel.
So I have few ideas means I probably need more ideas.
Exactly. Or few people came to the meeting suggests disappointment. Compare that to a few people came, which just sounds like a statement of fact, maybe even a positive one if you expected none. That tiny A makes a big difference in tone.
Wow. Okay, that's a really subtle but important distinction. So let's wrap this up. Even from this, slightly bizarre haunted house story, we've pulled out some really practical language. Rented for temporary use.
Haunted, both literally and metaphorically, for lingering presence.
The natural pairing, give a party.
So amusing for that pleasant, witty kind of funny.
And that crucial difference between a few meaning some and few meaning not many.
Yeah, it shows you can find useful language absolutely anywhere.
So the takeaway for you listening, practice these, notice them, see how they feel in different contexts.
And here's a final thought. Start listening for these nuances everywhere. News reports, songs, conversations you overhear. When does someone choose rent over lease? When is haunted just about a spooky feeling versus a deep-seated memory? Really tuning into how words are used, not just what they mean, that's what truly deepens your understanding of English. It makes you a much sharper listener and speaker, too.
That's it for today. By continuing to listen to native audio and then exploring it through various interpretations and explanations, your English skills will steadily improve. Have a great day.